An iconic U Street lunch counter that has been serving up half smokes to residents and tourists alike for decades celebrates its 60th birthday bash with a block party that had patrons dancing in the street.
And also, it's a dog's day for a dip in the pool. Four-legged friends finally get their chance to doggy paddle and splash in district swimming pools.
Those stories are coming up. The news rundown is straight ahead. We Are Washington starts now.
Welcome to We Are Washington. In 1958, newlyweds Ben and Virginia Ali used $5,000 to open Ben's Chili Bowl. 60 years later, the historic eatery is going strong. We'll bring you to a celebration of the iconic landmark that remains a beloved D.C. constant.
And later, the Department of Parks and Rec closes the pools for the season in the funnest way possible by letting it all go to the dogs. We'll bring you to our favorite end of summer tradition for our furry friends, the annual Doggy Day Swim. The highly anticipated $65 million state-of-the-art sports complex in Southeast officially opened its doors. Mayor Muriel Bowser, Monumental Sports and Entertainment CEO Ted Leonsis, and Sheila Johnson all cut the ribbon, officially opening the doors to the 4,200-seat venue, which will be home of the Washington Mystics and the official practice facility for the Washington Wizards.
The promises that we make in Ward 4, 5, 6, we make in Ward 7 and 8 and 1, 2, and 3 as well. Our city moves forward when all parts of our city move forward.
This is a miracle that we were able to have Events DC and our city and all the people at Monumental and everyone in the community come together and get this world-class building stood up. We are the only community to call home an NBA, a WNBA, and a G League franchise in the entire country.
The Sports and Entertainment Arena, or ESA, will also host major concerts. Grammy winner Mary J. Blige is the first performing artist to christen the stage at the new arena. The project is part of the redevelopment of the St. Elizabeth's East Campus, which is projected to produce $90 million in tax revenue over the next 2 decades.
The architect responsible for the design of several iconic buildings in the district now has a street named in his honor. Paul Devereaux Way was unveiled by city officials and family members to celebrate the legacy of the visionary African-American architect whose firm Devereaux Purnell designed Pepco headquarters in 2002. Other projects by the late architect include the Frank D. Reeves Municipal Center, the Walter E. Washington Convention Center, Studio Theater, and the African-American Civil War Memorial. Paul Devereaux Way runs between 7th and 9th Streets Northwest. A new community development is bringing more affordable housing to Ward 7.
Mayor Bowser cut the ribbon at the residences at Hayes Street in the Deanwood Hills neighborhood. The new affordable housing complex provides 150 units designed to help ensure district residents are able to stay in the neighborhood they call home.
Part of our new communities model is always working with our residents so that our residents, whether it's Lincoln Heights and Richardson Dwellings or in the other communities that I just mentioned, are first in line for the new units. And part of that is working on a lot of training, in financial training, human services supports, all of the things that make sure families know about the new opportunities and are ready to take advantage of those new opportunities. And I think that is exactly what you're going to find here at Hayes Street.
Ward 8 showed off its artistic side with a community showcase that featured designers, musicians, artists, and performers from Anacostia. The event was hosted by Check It Enterprises as part of Mayor Muriel Bowser's 202 Creates initiative, which celebrates DC's creative culture.
Mayor Bowser officially welcomes 350 new members of DC boards and commissions.
I will faithfully discharge my duties. Congratulations, commissioners. Congratulations.
There are 169 different boards, task forces, and commissions playing key roles in advising district agencies, as well as helping to shape policy decisions. Mayor Bowser thanked all the newly sworn-in members for their dedication to serving D.C.
The district's top chefs and trendsetters in the food and drink industry shared their secrets to success as part of the 5th annual Entree DC program. The event connects the food and beverage industry with DC public and private sector resources and offers entrepreneurs a chance to sit down with permitting specialists to learn the ins and outs of regulation.
Owning my own business has been worth every sleepless night and every headache. I don't even know how I could work for anyone else ever again. Finding out what I really wanted to do with my life has been really liberating. You probably by this point can tell that this was as much of a spiritual journey in many ways as it was to get my own business. In the course of the year and a half it took us to actually open the doors of Compass Rose, I learned a lot. I learned that keeping my cool when insulted by angry old men at a neighborhood meeting was the best course of action, as opposed to telling them what I really thought. I realized that admitting when you need help can actually be more noble than trying to make everyone, including yourself, think that you can do it all. I only wish I'd been honest with myself about what I really wanted earlier in my life, but I truly believe that it had to happen this way.
Whether you prefer a fruity Chardonnay or a full-bodied Merlot, there's something for every wine connoisseur at the Association of African American Vintners Community Wine Tasting. The AAAV was founded in 2002 to provide a supportive network to African American vintners and wine industry professionals, as well as to educate people about fine wines.
Well, it costs money. Depending on, if you want to have a vineyard, you have to buy the land. It costs about $40,000 an acre to plant. Then you have maintenance fees with regard to growing the grapes, picking the grapes. So if you want to be a vintner, a grower, a winemaker, you have to have a day job like me. I'm a full-time lawyer because it costs money to make wine, but I love it.
The tasting at City Winery featured fine wines from African American growers and wineries from across the country.
Mayor Bowser and Interim Schools Chancellor Amanda Alexander welcomed DCPS students to a back-to-school block party at Anacostia High School. Students and their families joined educators and community members for some food and fun to celebrate the start of a new school year.
Our vision, no matter the challenge, as a team, we can overcome any obstacle through purposeful planning, rigorous instruction, family engagement, and culturally relevant teaching, so that we can equip all students to successfully compete in a global society.
During the event, players from the City Championship Anacostia girls basketball team gave the mayor a team jersey and invited the community to come out for some games. Happy birthday to the first official government radio station in our nation's capital.
DC Radio celebrated its first anniversary in style with a little help from Raheem Devon and Carolyn Malachi, just two of the many great performers who helped mark the milestone. DC Radio 96.3 HD4 is managed right here at the DC Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment in partnership with WHUR. The programming has something for everyone from sophisticated soul with Will Downing to a world music hour and rememories for seniors. You can also listen to our award-winning television programming. All right, plenty happening this week, but of course we have time to recap a few items. In the news recap, first I want to start with the entertainment and sports arena. This looks like an incredible venue. Can't wait to go check it out in person and see a show there. What do you think?
I think it's great that the Washington Mystics finally have a home
They have a great
court.
great home court, a beautiful home court, in fact. This is going to attract a lot of attention and a lot of people coming in to see shows.
Yeah, and also our reputation as being a sports town.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah, we're building on that this year. I know that for sure.
the event I'd be more interested in attending was the wine tasting, which I thought was really
Wow,
fascinating. I have some colleagues who were able to attend that event, and they said the wine was excellent, but also fascinating about the fact that there are so few African Americans in that industry,
Right.
and just the organization that's dedicated to just educating people about what's involved. Obviously, it does take a lot of money. That's one of the biggest hurdles.
But the important question I have for you is red or white. Which side of that equation do you fall on?
I have to say, sweet white wine.
Oh, okay. Wow. Sweet
I know
white
that's.
wine.
I don't think that's the more sophisticated answer,
Yeah.
but I can't help it.
And I break all the rules because I don't fall into the category of, if you're having poultry or fish
Right. Oh, no,
and
no,
white
no, no.
wine. Or I enjoy red wine, and that's it. It doesn't matter what we're having.
No, those rules are out the window.
All right, and finally, the celebration for DC Radio, which celebrated its 1-year anniversary. Can't believe that it's already been a year that we've had DC Radio in our lives here in the District of Columbia.
It flew by, and I can't believe just how much programming
Right.
there is and
Oh my
how
God.
quickly that was put together. We work with, a colleague. He's very busy here. He's our, production supervisor, and so he's running around doing everything. And he's also doing Rating the Crates, which is a great show, just because he loves it.
I love Rating the Crates. 3 to 5 on Saturdays on DC Radio 96.3 HD4. Make sure to check that out. Well, there's still plenty more ahead on We Are Washington. Ben's Chili Bowl has been keeping customers and tourists coming back for more than 60 years. We'll bring you to the block party that had patrons dancing on U Street.
And later in the show, it's a Dog's Day at several city pools. We'll show you all the tail wagging and puppy excitement in and out of the water.
Welcome back to We Are Washington. There are plenty of places that you can go to get a chili dog. There are a number of spots you can go to enjoy a half smoke, but there's only one Ben's Chili Bowl.
With more than 60 years serving regular DC customers, as well as tourists who travel to U Street for the iconic lunch counter, there is something special that brings people back again and again.
Steeped in history, it's known as the restaurant that brings people together. It has survived everything from riots to the construction of Metro's Green Line. And as you'll see, everyone has their own personal reason to celebrate the 60th birthday of Ben's Chili Bowl. Few events are as DC as a block party at the front doorstep of the city's most iconic half-smoke and chili spot, featuring none other than Rare Essence. While that go-go beat moves people outside, the hot dogs and hamburgers sizzle on the flat-top grill inside, the same way it has for more than 6 decades.
I'm a cheeseburger lover. Everybody goes for the half smoke. I'm a cheeseburger man. And I've been buying these things since 1979. That's how long I've been coming here.
On this day, Ben's Chili Bowl celebrates its 60th birthday. That's more than a half-century of not just feeding the community, but serving as a meeting place for people to come together.
We landed here when this strip called the Black Broadway was really the premier African-American entertainment section in America.
Today's tribute is for the community, but also a chance to honor Virginia Ali, who opened the U Street Greasy Spoon with her husband Ben in the summer of 1958.
So much respect for Ben's Chili Bowl. It's like a staple in this community.
The last 60 years in a business, that's a blessing, so it means a lot, and it's a pillar of the community. Lord knows I don't know how many chili burgers I done ate out of there.
Since opening its doors, Ben's has stood the test of time by being a steady beacon during uncertain times throughout history.
We fed the Poor People's Campaign in '68. We fed the Jesse Jackson's 84 and 88 campaigns. We have been part of the community forever. People use Ben's Chili Bowl as a place to meet and eat and to organize.
And it's that reputation that over time made Ben's known as the local spot where everyday people could show up and brush shoulders with celebrities.
It's just always been the most special place. I'd come down here and sit for 3-4 hours sometimes, just chilling with the people, having a good time.
It's just been a good community place to come to. The food is great, the atmosphere is good, so if you want to have a good time, come to Ben's Chili Bowl.
To distinguish the physical location Ben sits at amid U Street even further, a new sign now adorns the well-traveled corner.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One of the biggest testaments to you and your family is when we can go in your restaurant and meet employees that have been with you since the very beginning. So not only that they serve up good food, but they're good people.
Good food and good people. The common thread. The secret to success that represents more than 60 years in business.
It's just a staple in the community. Great food, great people. Every time you come here, you're going to get a laugh. It's just a beautiful place, man. Beautiful place.
And once you go, you're hooked. They got you. So that's what keeps us coming here.
After the break, it's a dog's day at the pool. DC Department of Parks and Recreations gives some four-legged friends their chance to paddle and splash. That's next. Welcome back to We Are Washington. The end of summer can be a bittersweet time for some of us. Kids going back to school, vacations over, and the city pools closed for the season. There is one district tradition that gets all the tails wagging as our furry friends finally get their day at the pool. Here, take a look.
It's a day dogs and their owners look forward to all summer long. A chance to take a dip in one of DC's public pools. And this year, despite some chilly rain, these pups made the most of it. Is this your first dog swim?
It is. We've only had Simon for about 2 months.
And what does Simon think of his first official swim in the pool?
We dropped him in twice. He wasn't a big fan, but he'll get there. He's only 5 months old, so there's time.
DPR's annual dog swim signifies the end of the outdoor pool season with a one-day opportunity for dogs to perfect their paddling skills. But before they can jump in, the dogs and their humans have to sign in and need to show a valid and original DC Department of Health dog license and tag. But once they're signed in, the leashes come off.
Chapman, go for it.
Good job, Chapman. As you might expect, every dog has their own approach. Some didn't hesitate at all. Others take their time. And some even need a little push. And then for a few, the pool just wasn't their thing.
This one doesn't seem so interested in the pool. No pool for you today? No.
Well, how did Cecily do her first official swim in the pool?
She did okay. She was a little apprehensive in the beginning, but then she just started jumping right in, and she was loving it.
All right, great. Nico, good job.
Is that good? I'm gonna let her go? Okay.
What do you think of the dog swim here today?
I think it's great. I think it's great for the dogs, like Panda here. We're very appreciative of DC just opening up the pools for us. Great.
Panda, what do you think? You like it? Nice and wet.
She is.
After a long day at the pool, the smell of wet fur was definitely in the air. But nothing is better than getting dried off by your favorite human. So, you know, I love this event.
How could you not? Yeah.
The dogs were having so much fun, despite the fact that it was pretty chilly and rainy. I felt bad for them, but they had a good time regardless. But it made me think that, you know, it might be good for DC to have a year-round swimming pool dedicated just for I'm just putting it out there.
I was going to suggest give them another day, but you're saying go in a whole other direction.
Just a whole dedicated pool, just so that they can enjoy it all summer long. They had such a good time. I know that there are a few people, you know, not many, but people who are not so much the dog lovers who find it a little disturbing when you see all the dogs in there to think about going in there after them. But nobody goes in after them.
That's why they do it at the end of the season.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
But you know, you really have to give the DC Department of Parks and Recreation credit. They put together a lot of unique and interesting and fun programming all throughout the year. And as you can see, it's not just for people of DC.
No.
They're doing it for the animals too. So, you know, credit to them. They do a lot of great work, and they're always coming up with new and interesting and fun things for everybody to really enjoy and you know, to make DC feel like a really connected and home-like place for everybody, not just people, but the animals too.
Exactly.
Well, that is all the time that we have for today, but we do have time for one last thing. All right, one last thing today. The Mayor's Arts Award, the 33rd Annual Mayor's Arts Award held at the historic Lincoln Theater, We're going to talk a little bit more about that in an upcoming show, but a very special moment that took place from the Arts Awards this year. The go-go band Rare Essence, everybody knows Rare Essence if you're in D.C., was honored this year at the Mayor's Arts Awards for the Lifetime Achievement Award. So I know that you're probably a big Rare Essence fan. You've probably heard a few songs throughout the time you lived in D.C.
The first time that I really, started to appreciate go-go music was watching Rare Essence, and they were performing Overnight Scenario, and everybody was going crazy, and everybody was singing along. They knew all the words, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. I understand why everybody loves go-go.
Congratulations to them, James Funk, Andre Whiteboy Johnson, Killa Cal, all the rest of the guys from Rare Essence for tremendous performance that night, but also being part of the DC fabric and part of the DC music scene for so long, and all the music that they contributed along the way.
And I can imagine that everybody was up on their feet.
Oh yeah, they were. They were. They were out there dancing in the aisles again, having a good time, listening to Rare Essence play at the end of that show.
Congratulations to them.
Well, that is all the time that we have today, but we'd like to remind you that we have more programs we'd like you to see. Some of our previous shows on YouTube. Search Entertain DC. Hey, I have a question for you. Tell me, what's all this have in common? Learning how to row crew out on the Potomac River, tasting dishes from around the world, and going to the DC Greek Festival, St. Sophia Greek Festival. What do all those things have in common?
I think those are all amazing features that have been a part of We Are Washington that you really should check out.
That's right, and you can see them all right now today if you go click on Entertain DC on YouTube.
See you next time.